And this session is afternoon session, and afternoon session is my favorite slot as a speaker. And nowadays we have seen this transformation from physical sessions to the online sessions, and this session is also online session. So that way, whatever challenges are there of the online session and whatever the joys of this online session are there, both are there. Enjoy both during the session. I have already been introduced, so then no need to go ahead again. And this is Saturday afternoon. Let us start this session with a story. And this story I have taken from Mythological Book of India. This story I have taken from Ramcharitmanas. This story is related to the golden deer which entered into the forest on one fine day after the 12 years of exile of Lord Ram along with Lord Lakshman and Sita ji was completed. And this golden deer was nothing but a trap. And the name of the golden deer, the demon who was present in the form of the golden deer, was Marich. And Lord Ram knew the Marich because he has one more interaction with Marich when for the first time he left the palace and went along with Vishwamitra to remove the bad evils from the forest of northern India. And this was the second time. And in this trap, which was laid by golden deer Marich, and they fell into this trap, and thereafter the things took a U-turn and the life became difficult. Ultimately, the difficulties were overcome. And you know that this golden deer, you can find so many golden deers in today's age also, which are moving just near to you. And those are the traps, and we all have to keep ourselves free from the trap. Rest of the things related to this story we will share at the end of the session. And before we start this best practices session, the line which I remember from the Hindi films, that is Tofa Kabul Karo. Jahan pana tusi great ho. And every insolvency professional who is into practice of insolvency, he is almost in the same situation. He is almost in the same situation, and because he is sleeping with the enemies, he is working in the territory which is infested with the enemies, and enemies are all around and no friends. Anyway, let us first of all, I wish to congratulate all of you, including Deepak Kugreja ji. I could see that his name is also mentioned here. First of all, congratulations for passing this exam. You have passed it 3, 5, 4 years before, but still the congratulations you deserve, because out of the super exams which have emerged now, this is toughest super exam. Toughest super exam in the form that, yes, with latest developments, now 70% of the exam, rather 75% of the exam is based on case studies and case laws. Means you have entered into the toughest profession. Toughest profession have its own needs. And because toughest profession, just entry is not going to serve the purpose. Once you pass the exam, then you have to see whether your personality matches with the demand of this profession or not. If the personality do not match with the demand of the profession, then you have two choices. One, either to be in the periphery of the profession Or second choice is that you can change your personality, you can transform your personality so that you become suitable to this profession. Because insolvency is nothing. Insolvency is basically the ICU of the corporate world. ICU of the corporate world, as from the ICU, either the patient goes on his legs or he goes back on the shoulders of four persons. Here also, when a corporate comes into the insolvency, then either the corporate goes back in the lap of someone else or it gets destroyed. Anyway, let us see that why this situation is there, why we say that this is toughest profession. Because insolvency professionals are under regular scrutiny. Regular scrutiny by whom? And position of the IP is that IP is always working in the enemy territory. In between, what I will be doing, between I will be stop sharing the PPT so that we can have some light discussions, and whatever good additions any of you want to make, we can go for those good additional tips as well. Anyway, let us talk about the regular scrutiny, because insolvency profession is critical profession. Therefore, individual insolvency professional is under regular scrutiny by IBBI. By this time, when on last count I visited the IBBI portal, more than 500 complaints have been resolved where orders have been issued by IBBI. IBBI is regulator for two professions. One is valuation, another one is insolvency professional. And now see the bias that the complaints which have been resolved against valuers are just 71, and rest of the complaints are which have been resolved where orders have been passed, whether acquittal, whether the punishment, whatever else, that is in relation to the insolvency profession. That means 85% focus of IBBI is on insolvency professional and 15% focus is on valuers as far as regular scrutiny is concerned. What is the reason? The reason is that because insolvency professional is working in enemy territory, therefore many times the complaints are filed with the IBBI because the complaint redressal mechanism and initiation at its own. Both the modus operandis are being adopted by IBBI. So then, because of the number of complaints, the reason is that yes, complaints are being filed against insolvency professionals. As and when he makes any mistake, someone somewhere feeling aggrieved files the complaint with IBBI. Thereafter, insolvency professional agency, to whom the insolvency professional is attached. That insolvency professional agency also have monitoring committee and disciplinary committee. And in monitoring committee, desktop review, then field review and all other things continue. And then any insolvency professional who is doing number of assignments, he is on the radar of insolvency professional agency also. And when he is on the radar of insolvency professional agency, though the number of scrutinies are very less than 10%, but still there are certain criteria where the percentage goes up. And that way the parallel scrutiny, parallel disciplinary committee, parallel action that happens from IPA also. And NCLT experience, day in, day out, we have seen that if you are the insolvency professional, whenever you are visiting the National Company Law Tribunal, so see, basically this name is now only in the books. Otherwise, for all practical purposes, this name now has become NILT, National IBC Law Tribunal. because company law matters are getting only 5 to 10% attention of the NCLT, and 90% of the time of NCLT benches is dedicated to IBC. So then I don't know whenever this name will get changed, but as of now, for all practical purposes, the bias is there, and NCLT has become NILT for all practical purposes. But you might have felt that in NCLT also, though it is said that insolvency professional is extended arm of NCLT. Wherever NCLT cannot reach, then insolvency professional is appointed so that insolvency professional gives the special treatment and resolve the issue. But see the dilemma, the dichotomy, that whenever the insolvency professional is in front of NCLT, then NCLT do very close scrutiny of the working style of the insolvency professional. And most of the time, the verbal things, those which happens in NCLT, this has been seen that lot of directions are issued to the insolvency professional. Many times they feel the heat that whatever may be the reason for delay, but NCLT is after them, and NCLT always trying to improve the conduct of the insolvency professionals. And the story does not stop here only. What happens that IPE, because now more than 100 IPEs are there, and for big cases only the cases are being allotted to IPEs. So therefore, what has been seen that IPEs also put additional pressure on individual insolvency professional. And this pressure comes in two ways. Number one, that IPE has its own protocol, and they also keep the individual insolvency professional under regular scrutiny for their behavior, for their conduct, for their performance, for their compliances, for their progress, for their approach to resolve the sickness of the corporate world. And another two aspects, one is positive, another one is negative. The positive aspect is that individual insolvency professional, when he is spearheading the assignment, but he is also having the tag of IPE, then he has to shell out a part of his fees to IPE. That is the PIN. And the plus point is that the library of IPE, insolvency professional entities library, or their experience and their support team, that support team is there so that a fresh insolvency professional or the insolvency professional who has not done much work can also learn the tricks of the trade, tricks of the profession, and he can also perform reasonably well. And sufficient warning systems are there, and with these warning systems, the insolvency professional is able to make the things better. And see, when I say that as an insolvency professional, you are surrounded by enemies, but these enemies are in attire of the supporters and helpers. For example, committee of creditors, COC members. COC members, they are in the attire of supporter because all the decisions to be taken by the COC members. And this meeting is chaired by the insolvency professional. But what happens? That whatever is proposed very strongly by insolvency professional, that is similar with the same strength is retaliated by the COC members. Why? Because they always have the suspicion on the insolvency professional that perhaps he is having some sort of game, therefore he is forcing so strongly. And CD employees. CD is basically nothing but corporate in difficulty. Corporate in difficulty means your patient and the employees of the patient, corporate debtor. I am calling this intentionally I am calling it not corporate debtor, but I am calling it corporate in difficulty. And CD employees, they also have the full suspicion on the activities and the personality of insolvency professionals. And most of the time it has been seen that they are very reluctant to disclose before taking the approval of their past bosses, officially, unofficially, or on secret number or whatever. Means the directions given by the insolvency professional, even if that employee is retained by the insolvency professional, he takes the additional direction from his past boss. CD promoters, again, they are also in the enemy camp because they feel that they have been cheated by insolvency professional and he has snatched their chair. And chair kissa kursi ka, and anybody who snatches the chair of the promoters, then he is the enemy for the promoters. Then operational creditors who rarely get the chance to be on the COC, they also have the full suspicion because the system, the ecosystem is like that, that the majority of, in case of resolution, the majority of the amount, rather most of the amount goes to the financial creditors. And operational creditors do not get anything. So then what happens that operational creditors are always trying to play the mischief against the insolvency professional. They are trying to create the spokes in the wheel of the insolvency profession, the process of insolvency, so that this process can be stalled after getting started. Then see, in enemy territory, what is required to be taken care of? That slip of tongue. You will be punished for slip of tongue. You never know when you are saying something who is recording it. Because now the recording instruments are very sophisticated. Even when phone light is not on, the screen light is not on, still the recording may happen. So therefore, slip of tongue, you will be punished for slip of tongue. You will be punished for unethical practices. You will be punished for timely delays. Whosoever may be, whosoever may be the cause of the delay. But punishment, for punishment, always the insolvency professional is there. Timely delays. Then for every non-compliance also, the insolvency professional is responsible. And see the punisher and the punishment. NCLT usually through verbal and through orders. That is, NCLT is the punisher, and how it punishes through the verbal things. The NCLT usually, when we are in NCLT as a professional, then I have seen many times that NCLT judge or the technical member of the NCLT, they will pass and they will question the performance of the insolvency professional, though that may not be taken in the order. And sometimes in order also the directions are issued by the NCLT to the insolvency professional. IBVI through complaint redressal mechanism. IPA, Insolvency Professional Agency, through monitoring committee and disciplinary committee, and by way of issuing the show cause notices and monitoring committee referring the matter to disciplinary committee. And IPE through performance pressure, because they have given you the name, therefore their performance, their image, their corporate image, their deliverance image is also at stake. Therefore, performance pressure, and your junior regularly will be knocking your door during the day, maybe more than one time, that this work need to be done urgently and today only. If we do not do it today, then we will be entering into the delayed time zone. So then that is also a challenge. And this punisher and punishment continues. COC, Committee of Creditors. What is the experience till now? That committee, members of the creditors committee are incapable to take the decisions. And they always have an excuse that I will talk to my boss, I will talk to my board, I will talk to my managing director, I will talk to my CEO, only then I will give my vote. And COC delays. What is the punishment given by the COC? Most of the time, the punishment which is given by COC is in the form of delays. Government authorities, though many times the Supreme Court and the appellate authority has decided, the appellate tribunal has decided about the government demands, but still off and on in every case there are challenges in the form of the demands by income tax department, demands by GST department, demand by even the local electricity boards. Very recently in one particular case I was noticing that the electricity board got the orders from DC to get the property attached. That means the industrial property attached. Though the IBC process was going on, and ultimately what the insolvency professional has to do when the DC could not be convinced by him, then he has to file a petition in appellate tribunal. What will happen here? Whether this petition will get resolved within 3 days, within a week, within 15 days. Everything has its own time. Preparing a petition, preparing anything, and then getting the date of hearing, then hearing actually happening, and then not only happening, but hearing actually getting closed, and the order is dictated, and then order is signed and order is released. So many sub activities are there. That means whenever government demands are there, then government officers have a neck, rather a direction, that they shall not accept the order until and unless this is dictated by the Supreme Court. Otherwise, their retirement benefits may be at stake. So then what happens? Otherwise, also government is the biggest litigator. So then what happens that every matter wherever any government agency is involved goes up to Supreme Court, and that is another cause of delay. So then what happens here? The punisher is government authority and punishment is happening in the form of demands. Let us talk about the financial creditors. Financial creditors, what is the punishment? That they are always in the position of indecision. Very slow in taking the decisions, because as per their designation, what is happening that chief managers or AGM rank people are coming in the COC meetings and they don't have the decision making power. Therefore, it's a challenge. And another challenge is information, that though they have to sign the non-disclosure agreement, but still they feel, and this has been seen till now, the experience till now says that yes, the information most of the time is leaked by them. And OC have their own challenges, because of that, and because they don't get even peanuts, so therefore they have to take their own revenge, and the person who is the cynosure of the eyes is none other than the insolvency professional. Well, and then few more punishers. CD is corporate debtor, which I usually call during my sessions as corporate in difficulty. Then the challenge is that pressure to run the show. Insolvency professional, first challenge which insolvency professional faces, that is pressure to run the show. And pressure to run the show means you have to choose some of the enemies as your friend. Only then you can run the show. So now see the dichotomy, that insolvency professional has to choose out of the enemy camp some of the soldiers for him. This do not happen in any other profession. CD promoters, most of the time they are not available, their non-cooperation is there, and they punish in the form of non-availability and in the form of non-cooperation. CD workers struggling for day-to-day needs, because most of the time their salaries, their dues, their retirement benefits, their non-retirement benefits, their PF, their ESI amounts have not been deposited, salaries have not been released, and they are struggling for their day-to-day needs. So they are looking for interim relief, and everybody directs them to meet the insolvency professional. But insolvency professional is not empowered to spend even a single money on CD workers. So that again becomes a bone of contention, a challenge. CD employees, they also are in the habit of non-sharing of information without taking the approval of their past bosses. Therefore, it's a challenge. Anyway, here I am stopping sharing the PPT so that we can discuss some of the things, and then I will again start the PPT from here and will take the topic forward. And let us see if there any question or any comment is there. So till now, no comment, no question, and only the attendance has been marked by some of you. So well, any of you who want to deliberate on the aspects, the probing aspects, the ground reality, which I have discussed, if you want to add something in that, then I invite any of you to unmute and add something. Or if you want to discuss, deliberate something more in detail, then also tell me. And then after going through this round of the questions, interactiveness, I will move forward with my topic. Yes, Dr. Thukralji, anything you want to add on the basis of your experience, sir?
Ji, sir.
Anything you want to add in the pain points which I have just now deliberated on the basis of your experience, sir? Kindly feel free to share.
So you have very rightly mentioned that the insolvency professional is surrounded by various friends all around. Everybody is having a lot of expectations from RP. Eventually, it's about 6 years now since when I'm
Yes.
RP, IP, but I have not handled any assignment. I'm actively practicing as an advocate. So I have represented many IPs at various levels in IBBA also, in the High Court also, and of course in NCLT also.
Yeah.
And everywhere I have seen that IP is virtually riding on a two-edged sword. So everybody is making allegations against IP, whether it is suspended director, whether it is financial creditor, whether it is operational creditor or employee, everybody is only blaming and blaming. And RP, I tell you, is a very, very strong person, is emerging as a very strong person. He's
Yes.
receiving volleys from all sides and individually fighting with everybody. And not
Yes.
only these four persons, then the NCLT also, and then the IBBA also.
Yes.
And for anything and everything, the entire responsibility rests only on the insolvency professional.
Yes, sir. And
So, so what happens is now to be an insolvency professional, there are two basic requirements. I mentioned the first session also
yeah.
that you need to have a license and you need to have an AFA.
Yes.
And now, when you are in the clutches of IBBI, they will initiate proceedings against IP with issue of show cause notice, and then your AFA is suspended. So
Yes.
that virtually means now you cannot take any further assignment. So that means
Yes.
the punishment starts to run right there
Yes.
and then. And suppose the adjudication has taken for 3 years, so 3 years you are not able to do anything. And then after 3 years, when an order is passed, they say, okay, you are suspended for another 2 years. Your license is suspended without dealing with what happens to the punishment that IP has already undergone. So, so I do not know how these solutions will come for the poor IP actually. So it's a very very difficult game for the IP.
So then, Thukral sir, one important thing has emerged from your deliberation
Yeah,
that IP is short duration profession.
Uh, well, because many of the IPs I see, they
Yeah,
venture into the profession to take some experience and then they hurriedly try to take exit.
yes, I
So
have
I
also
know
seen,
many
I
of
have also
the IP
realized this.
friends.
Yes,
Yeah, I know many of the IP friends who ventured into this profession and then they quickly sought exit from the profession
yeah,
because of all these reasons. I mean, you may be working any honestly, you may be doing everything ethically, you may be doing everything, all 24 hours. You are conscious that you do not make mistakes, but still, a small oversight of something will land you in the disciplinary proceedings of the IBBI, and then
yes.
the life, your disturbance, pressure on mind, stress, that all comes with it. I mean,
Right, sir. We have Sunil Kumarji, and Sunil Kumarji, kindly unmute yourself. And
Yes, sir. Good
yes,
afternoon. Actually, I wanted to ask, and maybe if you can touch upon the role of authorized representative of the insolvency professional in case of, especially for home buyer, loties and all, because
yes,
they think you that you are the consultant, you are the advisor, you are advocate, you are everything for the home buyers. However, in case of the law, if we talk about, it is only regulation 16A section 25A specifically give the rules and duties and of the AR as I insolvency professional. So how
well,
to deal with this kind of situation?
yes. So then, Sunilji, this is very good question, and I will say that ICSI IIB. This is the topic for ICSI IIP so that they can have a separate session on this because Sunilji, you already understand that this home buyer's representative, his responsibility, his role, and then he has to keep both hands satisfied. The home buyers to whom he is representing because they also get annoyed that nothing is happening.
Correct.
See, pain of the home buyers that they feel that their authorized representative is incompetent and nothing is
Yes.
happening. 6 months have
Yes.
passed, 1 year has passed, 2 years has passed. So then I will advise ICSI representative who is here. On later on, I will talk to Prashantji and will say that there is a need that
Yes.
role of authorized representative of home buyers. Let us have a separate session on that. And in that separate session, all the aspects related to be representative of home buyers, because that is safe territory. Otherwise, as just now Tugral Saab was saying that many IPs have exited. But see, I have seen that IPs who have exited, they are actually in the IP game. But the only thing is that they have changed and they have gone for the soft assignments and they are not becoming the IRP or RP.
Right.
That is there. Anyway, let us talk to Ramchandranji and then I will connect with the PPT again. Ramchandranji, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, very good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
And till now, we have only deliberated about the pain areas of the insolvency professional. And we, I would like to invite you to share your experience or anything you would like to add or anything where you feel that I did not touch that thing regarding the pain area of that. So
Actually,
Ramchandranji,
actually, I have completed recently completed one CRP assignment. During my
okay,
CRP experience, in order to delay from the adjudicating authority processing the applications, it
yes,
suffers the issues with the CD, COC, and other people.
yes,
That is issue I have faced during my CRP assignment. Actually,
yes. And Ramchandranji is talking about the delays and he is telling that adjudicating authority itself is there. And then the blame is always shifted to the insolvency professional. And not only adjudicating authority, but COC members are also cause of delay. But they will also put the blame only on the insolvency professional. So
exactly,
this
exactly.
is how this blame game goes on. Let us, before I reconnect, let us talk to Rashmi ji. I could see the one name, Rashmi ji is there. But before that, let us go to Shankara Lingam ji. Shankara Lingam ji, good afternoon.
Sir, good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
But yes, I am a qualified professional, but I have not entered the fray. So far, I have not entered the ground of practice. Therefore, just I am observing all what you are telling, but it is informative, sir.
Then see, sir, there is a suggestion for you, Shankar Lingam ji, that
Sir,
initially, instead of starting as IRP or RP, do some peripheral assignments to gain the confidence. Yeah.
I will get it, sir. I will get it in
Yeah.
course of time. I will get it in course of
because you enter into the hot ring, na, then do some peripheral assignments. This will give you the confidence.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
In course of time, sir. In course of time.
Yes. Now let us go to Rashmi ji or Harmeet ji. Any of you is there? Rashmi ji or Harmeet ji? Okay.
Sir, Ranjana sir.
Yes, Ranjana
Sir.
ji, welcome.
Yes,
Ranjana,
sir. Yes.
share your experience. Till now, I have shared only the pain point. I will be moving forward for my topic. But if anything I have left regarding the pain point or your own experience, then feel
Yes,
free to share.
sir. Yes, sir. Actually, I'm an IP and I'm assisting one senior IP in Bangalore. So what
Okay,
happened,
very
sir?
good.
At that time, in while taking the custody, they both
Yes.
were husband and wife, and in the third meeting only, that wife didn't came to hand over all the assets, and they have done what I can say. They have actually, it was a hospital, so they have run very badly in COVID. So sir was asking, please show us what are the receipts, and that after 1 month, what she filed in the NCLT, that the IP has crossed my what we can say comfort level, and
Yes.
so this kind of application also filed in NCLT. That
Yes.
yes, sir. So, but so my sir was very precautious in that way. Whenever lady was there, we both, me and one more girl, was accompanied in the room, that she can't wrongly accuse us. So
Yes.
this kind of application also filed in NCLT, sir.
Yes, frivolous. We call them frivolous complaints.
Yes,
And
sir.
and one best practice is happening from whatever you have shared, Ranjana ji. That is that IP shall always have one female in team.
Yes, sir. Sir, we were two. Whenever,
Because
yes, sir. Whenever the lady was there, myself, we both. That in future she can't say that he has done something. So
yes.
that's why.
So this is what is emerging from your short discussion, and we will be deliberating again once I complete the precaution part, right?
Yes, sir.
And now let us talk about the precautions to be undertaken by the insolvency profession. First precaution is, I am not insurance agent, but I am also insolvency professional. I will say sufficient insurance precautions to be undertaken by insolvency professional. I call it attitude shifting, because once you have moved from the soft profession to this tough profession, insolvency profession, then first requirement is that have the sufficient insurance. I have seen at least four of my friends, insolvency professionals, who felt the health issues during their first assignment. Because see what professional do, he gets involved and he feels that this is his own assignment. He is not detached. Therefore, in your first assignment, what happens that 24/7, you are involved in that assignment and you cannot do any other professional work. And what happens that this takes toll on your health. Therefore, my advice is not only the mediclaim, but my advice is that IP shall also take accident insurance. IP shall also take professional indemnity insurance policy. Just now, Ranjana ji was sharing one extraordinary event where the women director blamed the insolvency professional, and this application was also filed in NCLT. He was lucky that insolvency professional, that application was filed in NCLT. If say this application would have been filed in the local court, then see what type of stress the insolvency professional would have got. And then I will, on top of all these mediclaim, accident insurance and professional indemnity, I will also advise that insolvency professional, whatever is the age group, shall also go for endowment policy. Anyway, I have given the disclaimer that I am not the agent, but yes, I feel that this precaution is the number one precaution. As soon as someone enters and file for AFA, and I will ask one of you, what is this AFA? And as soon as you file your AFA, you must be ready with your insurance policies. Let us go for second precaution, group hunting. Second profession, which on the basis of the practical experience I want to tell, is group hunting. If you are not connected with any insolvency professional entity, then create your entity. Because group hunting is always convenient than the single hunting. Ek akela thak jayega. So therefore, if you have not, then this is the time, because work is voluminous and you may not be able to afford the cost of the sophisticated top level professionals which you need to execute your assignment. Therefore, it is always better, if you are not connected with IPE, then get connected with, or then create your own IPE and facilitate this facility to other insolvency professional. As a IPE, you will be able to afford the battery of the professionals who will work under the insolvency professional. Red light. My team has made here red light. That precautions to be undertaken. The precaution number 3 is always on alert mode. Traps everywhere, because as far as IP is concerned, traps are everywhere. You never know who will trip you. So therefore, always in alert mode. Even if green light is there, be cautious. Don't take it granted, because sometimes there may be trap in the form of green light. The another precaution is the confidentiality. Where is the need to unnecessarily discuss the things which are hot at your table? Don't do it. The more you keep the things confidential, more confident you will be there. The moment you loses the confidentiality, your confidence will get shaken, because you are working in the enemy territory. You are not working in the friendly territory. Let us talk about another profession, another precaution, which is usually the challenge and usually get ignored. That non-disclosure agreement, even with the videographer, non-disclosure agreement even with the Ranjana ji if she is assisting you, non-disclosure agreement with howsoever small employee may be working in your company, in your insolvency professional entity, or in your team, always entered into that non-disclosure agreement. Because just now when one of you was sharing, then that thought was there that the moment you slip, the show cause notice from IBBI is ready, and you will get a notice that will later on. And once that notice is there, because the compliance is so exhaustive that you have to tell about every step you have taken. So somewhere, whatever may be your wish, even after that wish, even after that, the meticulousness, there is likelihood that the show cause notice will happen into disciplinary proceedings. Your license will be cancelled for 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and then suddenly you will exit from the profession. And after 2-3 years, you may not have confidence to restart your journey. Therefore, non-disclosure agreements, do remember not only COC, even your videographer, with videographer also you need to enter into this non-disclosure agreement. Another precaution, that one shall go for the call identifier. If you want to start in your phone, call identifier is not there, then have that call identifier. And call recording also, call recording helps, because many people will threaten you over phone. So then you need to record. And the person who is talking to you must know whether you are recording or not, that you are recording. Even if this perception is there, then also it serves the purpose. Then another precaution which usually this has been seen that young insolvency professional forgets, that is that in addition to looking for the related party of the CD, in addition to looking for the related party of the COC members, in addition to looking for the related parties of the other stakeholders, every insolvency professional must prepare his own list of related parties. And you must take care that none of the transaction during this insolvency process, CIRP process, you enter with your relative party. That means your partner cannot get the valuation assignment because he is related party to you. Means develop a list of unrelated parties, and to whomsoever you want to give the work, break the relation with him, and he shall not get covered in the definition and in the periphery of related party. Let us talk about another profession, another precaution, that is treat yourself as adjudicating authority, because you are extended arm of adjudicating authority. Treat yourself as adjudicating authority. Always, whenever there is any challenge, just presume that you are adjudicating authority, what decision you will take. Then this positioning, self-positioning will help you to take the rational decision. And this rational decision helps us. This rational decision tells us that yes, we are on the right path and we must, and whatever decision you will take, that quality of the decision will improve. Another precaution, this has also been seen that sometimes because sometimes in the movements, in the busyness or in the success, what happens that sometimes you forget the compliances as a chartered accountant, as a company secretary, as a other professional. But as an insolvency professional, no risk. This authorization for assignment, in some of the cases, this has been seen that authorization for assignment was not renewed because this is required to be renewed after every 6 months. And because you forgot to renew it, and in the meantime, some assignment came and you accepted this assignment, then do remember, show cause notice will happen. You will be penalized because without getting authorization for assignment, if you have accepted any assignment, then you deserve the penalty. And that is going to happen. Either this happens by IBBI or it happens by your IPA. But once you make this mistake, because these all things are getting recorded, you have to keep the records. Therefore, you will be in trouble for doing this. Let us talk that what is the precaution. Treat yourself as cashier in the bank. I have intentionally used this cashier in the bank phenomena rather than using something else, that treat yourself as cashier in the bank, that you have got a temporary posting for 1, 2 years, 6 months, 9 months, 15 months, 18 months, depending upon the wish of adjudicating authority and other litigation platforms. How long your assignment will go, it depends on COC, on the mercy of COC, it depends on even the valuer, it depends on the CD corporation, it depends on CD promoter. You cannot do anything. Only thing is you are the cashier, keep your cash counted and do not take even a single penny unethically from that position. And then record maintenance for a period of 3 years. Record maintenance. Unless you maintain the record, then what will happen? What is the challenge? That you have violated certain things which you will attract penalty, whether this penalty is by IBBI or this penalty is by IPA. This penalty is going to happen. That means your career will get a break if you miss these precautions. And here again, I am stopping the PPT so that with this attitude shifting, we can discuss some other precautions with some of you, and then we'll move to the next aspect of today's session. Well, in earlier session, we have learned few things, and those things were in first we discussed that yes, sometimes this may be short duration profession because of the disciplinary action taken either by IBBI or maybe by IPA. Then we saw that role of authorized representative of home buyers, where I am going to recommend to ICSI IIP that they can have a session on this because there is need, and many of my colleagues are working as authorized representative of home buyers. So then in relation to them, what is specifically required and how this shall happen. And then we discussed that most of the time AA also is the culprit for the delay, but the blame is always on the table of the insolvency professional. Even COC members are usually the culprit for delay, but the blame is not on them. And then as a fresher IP, insolvency professional, the suggestion developed emerged that do some peripheral assignment so that you get the confidence, and then be ready for some frivolous complaints also. If the female director is there on the board of the company with CD where you have become the insolvency professional, be careful, because frivolous complaint likelihood is there in form of the revenge. And what was the suggestion? The suggestion which emerged, that always have one female in your team. And if you get such assignment where women director is there, then be careful. If women employee is there also at responsible position, then also be careful so that you can save yourself whenever there is a challenge. Anyway, now first of all, let me talk to Shankar Lingamji because he is available here right now. Shankarji, kindly unmute yourself. We have discussed some of the precautions here, and you are invited to deliberate on those. Okay, Shankarji is not there. Then I shall talk to Puneet Handaji. Puneet Handaji, are you there?
So, may I interject actually?
Yes.
So, it's a little
Prasad, yes,
different.
welcome.
There is
Yes,
a there is a circular just issued by IBBI on 18th
yes,
July. There is a
yes,
letter sent to
yeah,
the Secretary NCLT Principal Bench, and
yes,
now it is circulated on 31st July to all other benches.
yeah,
Where now IBB has recommended under Section 34, subsection 4B, that all in all cases where the liquidation order is yet to be passed, only
Yeah.
new IP will be entered as liquidator.
Yes. Means the same IP will not continue as a liquidator, rather
Absolutely.
new IP will be appointed as a liquidator. And see, Tokral Saab, with this, now what will happen that the process will get further delayed.
Absolutely.
Because the new liquidator, first of all, has to understand all what happened during the CIRP process. That means 2 months additional delay will now happen for the liquidation
Of
matters.
us, there will be a great challenge to take over the entire thing from the RPR, as a case may be, taking over the possession of the corporate debtor and the entire record would in
Yeah.
itself will be a great challenge at the outset.
And see, when there is onus on the IP that he has to maintain the records for 3 years, means
Absolutely.
means that he has to do the photocopies of all the documents, and then will be another tussle. Who will keep the original? You
Correct.
know, you understand the litigation. So then another Pandora box has been opened now. Anyway, sir, these things do
Absolutely.
happen. Still, the things will go on. Let us go to Puneet Handaji. Puneet Handaji is here, and I could see that Puneet and Pankajji, they both were here. So then let us understand from them regarding the precautions if they want to add anything. Puneetji or Pankajji, any of you? And Shankar Lingamji in the meantime is there. Then let us go to Shankarji first and let us understand his take about the precautions. Shankarji, kindly unmute yourself and then Pankajji has come. But first of all, Shankarji, and then I will go to Pankajji. Yes.
Sir, the record maintenance and all the attendant things, we have to be very careful. That's what you told me. And from the point of contacting every person, we have to be very careful that you are telling, sir.
Yes. Thank you. And
Yes, sir.
now let us listen to Pankajji. Pankajji, over to you. Unmute yourself, Pankajji. Welcome. Good afternoon.
Yeah, so I haven't taken, frankly, any assignments so far. I've been doing advocacy practice by and large. So,
Yeah.
but the experience is that, see, they have to be very careful because a lot of the time the directors litigate on most of the matters. Everything they want to participate as a resolution applicant. They want to hinder the progress of the assignment. They don't let you visit the factory premises, etc. They object you. So while doing the factory premises visit, you need to have a team along with you. Sometimes you have to travel outstation to do that factory premises visit. So a videography is a must. And of course, signing of the NDs, etc., which you said, is also very important to keep yourself safe. And these disclosures are not shared contrary to your wishes and all. So sometimes we see that the factories, when you need to post the guards over there, which is very important because even if the CRP has started, we have seen instances where they are removing the valuable items from the machinery. For example, the hardware will remain, but what is important is the chip in the hardware. For example, these are complicated machines. So what the directors will do, they will remove these chips and the electronic boards. So you will have the machinery as it, but the valuable component, which is these ECU and all that electronic components, will be removed. So the value will remain, will be eroded of those machines. They will not be functional without these. So these are the things which you should, while taking the CRP process, then you should immediately check that whether these machines have all those things intact, and you should post the guards over there, do a proper photography of those items. Otherwise, the value of those will be eroded substantially.
Yes. So then, Pankajji, on lighter note, IBC has given a lot of business to advocates.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Yes. And now let us go to Puneet Handaji or Deepak Kukreja ji. Deepak ji, are you there? Okay. Puneet ji, you were there. I could see you. And Puneet is practicing in Gurgaon. And he has handled few cases, if I rightly remember. And in the meantime, let me call Neeraj Singhal ji. Neeraj Singhal ji, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Welcome, Neeraj ji. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much, sir.
We were discussing about the precautions in the second leg of today's session. And in precautions, I started with the insurance and then I took the journey forward and told precisely only the 10 precautions. If you want to
Yes.
add something or you want to deliberate on any of
Sir,
these,
actually, you have covered all the points, all the precautions, and moreover, I've just started my career as an insolvency professional.
very
Got my
well.
registration three months before. I got my registration from IBBI.
Yeah,
I'm
congratulations,
not
Neeraj
getting
ji.
so much exposure.
Yeah,
I'm learning,
yeah.
and you have covered all the precautions.
And
So there
Neeraj ji,
is no new addition from my side.
you have passed the toughest exam. As of now, this is toughest exam if you have passed 3 months back.
Yes, sir.
And write your email ID in the chat box and I will connect with you personally. I passed this
Yes,
in
sir.
January.
Yes.
I passed this in January 2017. That was the first month when this exam started. But what happened that
Yes,
as
sir.
Supreme Court and NCLT cases and NCLT cases happened, so then now the syllabus and with at that time regulations were also not there. So then regulations, rules, show cause notices, orders, Supreme Court, then the appellate tribunal, then High Court, many dimensions have been added. And now this has become one of the complicated exam. Anyway, what I am doing that
Yes.
for you, Neeraj, I am writing here my mobile number where you can give me just a WhatsApp message and I will connect with you. Right? And Ashish
Yes,
Agarwal
sure,
is
sir.
here. Yes, Neeraj.
After this session, I'll make a call to you,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, thank you. And Ashish Agarwal ji is here. Let us listen from Ashish Agarwal ji about the precautions. Ashish ji, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, I am a chartered accountant based out of Ludhiana.
Yes, sir.
And
Neeraj ji, kindly mute yourself. Neeraj ji.
Yes, sir. Extremely sorry. I forget that. Yes,
Yeah,
I'm doing.
thank you.
actually, there's a slight issue. I'm also a chairman of a listed company, and the board meeting has just started. That's why I'll
Okay, sir.
request you to kindly excuse me. It just
Right,
started.
sir. Right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. We
Please.
are going to Pankaj ji. Pankaj Sanghvi ji is there. Pankaj Sanghvi ji, if you are there, then kindly deliberate about the precautions which we have just now discussed. Okay. Pankaj ji, you are on unmute mode. Pankaj Sanghvi ji. And then let us go to the old buddy, the Ranjana ji. Ranjana ji, you were telling something, your experience where you are assisting one of the insolvency professional and your limited experience because this is your first assignment. First of all, enjoy your first assignment. And just now I have discussed the precautions. And anything you want to add on the basis of your limited experience, kindly feel free to add. If you want to deliberate on any of these 10 precautions, then deliberate.
Well, actually, I have assisted 3 to 4 cases, and
Okay.
one case is very interesting. It is actually Hyderabad based company, and it was into hydropower. So
Okay.
what happened, sir? In the NCLT, it was a Section 8 application.
Yeah.
Operational creditor has initiated the application. So it was during COVID. So sir was
Yes.
appointed in before COVID only. So what happened at that time? He was unable to take physical custody from
Yes.
them, that machinery. So as soon as the lockdown lifted, sir has gone to, but they told sir, sir, right now here lockdown is there, so please don't come. Whether in Karnataka it was open, that doesn't matter.
Yes.
And now after when he has gone to that place, now that they are saying that no machinery is with us only. So they have gone to the NCLT under Section 8, and now they are telling that the machinery is with us only, it is not in the company's name. So
Yeah.
that particular application we are filing, it is under adjudicating authority only, and anklet. But due to COVID, that sir was unable to take physical custody, and now they have taken stand that machinery was never transferred to the company.
Yes. So this is very interesting thing, and we all are aware that excuse for delaying the visits, so that the visit to the plant can be delayed, not only by the insolvency professional but by the valuers also. And see the dilemma that insolvency professional can file the application, interim application, or whatever you call it, in the NCLT. But valuer, if he is denied or his visit is delayed, he cannot even go to the NCLT. He is not empowered. So he is not empowered to go to NCLT. So that is another dilemma, another dichotomy, that this is the challenge over there. But yes, we are talking about the precautions, and let us rope in someone else. Kumudni, I saw one name, Kumudni. If you are there, then you can rope in with your experience. Shivarami Reddy ji is there. Shivarami Reddy ji, over to you. If you want to share your experience or anything, then over to you. Shayak goes from Shayak ji. If you want to share your experience, then welcome. Okay. And then let us call Rama Ravji. Rama Ravji, are you there? Ketan ji is there. Ketan ji? No. Okay. Let us talk to Arunav Sikdar. Arunav ji, are you there? If you are there, kindly unmute yourself. No. So then, Ramchandran ji, I am coming back to you again, because out of 5, actually, maybe because this is working day and August is there, so then there may be some interruptions or something else.
Yes, sir.
So
Actually, as the CD is going concern, we have to obtain the expert opinion or technical support from the other people.
yes.
Exactly, that is the thing, actually.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. And Alok Saxena ji, are you there? Okay, fine. Then let me reconnect with the PPD. We will now discuss the do's and don'ts. First of all, we will discuss the do's. And do's I have subdivided into 2 parts. One is general, another one is technical. So first of all, I am discussing the general do's. Mental toughness. I disclosed here that I passed this exam on 17th January 2017. But after passing the exam, I realized that this does not match with my emotional personality. And the mental toughness which is required needs another personality, another birth. But I am deeply, thickly, and thinly involved in all peripheral activities. All peripheral means all. None of them has been left except accepting the assignment in mind. Then another general do which is there, that top level physical fitness is required. Top level physical fitness, yes, because you will be challenged by your enemies not only through where you can fight with your brain, but you will also require to take care of your health, physical health, because there will be lot of tense movements, there will be lot of odd hours working, there will be lot of traveling, there will be lot of meetings, and everybody is looking after you. Looking after means looking towards you. Everybody is looking towards you for directions. Everybody is looking towards you for help. Everybody is looking towards you as you are the number one enemy in his life. So then you need the physical fitness also. First of all, we are discussing the general do's for the insolvency professional. And then insolvency professional also must read art of recording audio and video both. He must also need this art, must understand, must learn this art of recording audio and video both, because many times this will be required where your videographer may not be near to you. Many times this will be required where your assistant may not be there. Many times where none of the helper will be there and you need to record something. So then this art of recording you need to understand. Then art of dealing with unknown persons. Unknown persons, when you walk in the park, nearby park in the morning or in the evening, then you can develop this art of dealing with unknown persons. Even just by way of sharing the gestures, sharing the pleasantries, sharing the good morning, sharing the good evening or whatever, then even with that you can develop this art of dealing with unknown persons, because as an insolvency professional, this interaction of 1 year or 2 years is only once in lifetime. Once your assignment is over, none of the person liked your way of working, therefore they will not come to you unless and until second casualty happens with that person. Means art of dealing with the unknown persons, art of sleeping with the enemies. It's a challenge. But yes, if you wish to be a successful insolvency professional, then in capacity building, one of the and this art of sleeping with enemy, I am using here the acronym. I am using here a saying that yes, this is something where you do not sleep actually. You are always very cautious because your enemy may attack you at any moment. So that means this art of sleeping tells you that when you are not sleeping, then you are acting as you are sleeping, and vice versa also. And that requires some different type of guts. Formal attire. This is another challenge, that insolvency professional has to be in formal attire. That means one necktie in the neck and another necktie in the pocket. This is bare minimum required. Whenever you visit NCLT, you need necktie. Whenever you visit the plant, you need necktie. Whenever you are in COC meeting, you need necktie. Whenever you are visiting the promoters or promoters are visiting you, there you need. Whenever you are visiting any local authority, there you need, and everywhere you need it, because you don't have any dress code and you don't have any designation. And this insolvency professional designation is not understood by the local authorities. And most of the time you are to deal with the local authorities. Sometimes you have to visit the GST office or income tax office or the government offices. There also again you need the formal attire. That means in general we have discussed the 6 things, and in these 6 capabilities, capacity building, I have discussed mental toughness, I have discussed physical fitness, I have discussed art of recording audio and video both. I have discussed about art of dealing with unknown persons. I have discussed art of sleeping with enemies, and then I have discussed formal attire. And with these 6 discussions in do's part, I'm again stopping sharing the PPT so that we can have the comments of some of you and we can strengthen this portion further. Then, first of all, as Ashish ji is available there, so then I would like to invite Ashish ji for his comments on any portion. Ashish ji, by this time we have covered 3 portions. First portion was pain area. Second portion was precautions. And the third portion, which I have just now covered in last 15 minutes, that is related to this,
Attire.
the do's capacity building in general. Technical capacity building, I will discuss after this deliberation, which is starting with you. Over to you, Ashish ji.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Sir, I'll tell you briefly about myself. I'm a chartered accountant practicing
Yes.
for last 32 years. I am practicing the geographical area of Punjab and cover a little bit of Delhi. And I cleared my joined IBBI in 2017. Not done major work, but have been completed one assignment as IRP, IRP, and then as a liquidator. But I have been approved by the banks for a few cases, but there's all pending approval before NCLT. So my experience is limited to one this case, and where fortunately or unfortunately it was a closed company, so I didn't have to really work too hard, because doing the IP process for a functional company is really tough because you have to run the business. So I have not done that. But however, the experience of doing all this was very nice. I learned a lot, and look forward to getting more assignments. That's all about me, sir. Thank
And
you.
Ashish ji, then you are my contemporary because I also passed in 2017
Yes.
insolvency exam and tested the initial fruits when the fruits were low lying
Yes.
and the things were there easily available and the toughness was also not there and people were not understanding this. So
Yes.
that was the time when you and I entered into the profession. So
Yes.
then anything else you want to add as far as the do's of the capacity building is there on the basis of
All
your
I want
delivery?
to suggest my fellow colleagues is, this is actually a very, very tricky profession where you have to be very careful in terms of compliances, and you have access to a lot of money and control, so one should not misuse it. One have to be very careful, because the provisions are very draconian against the IPs if they are indulging into any malpractices. That is my only suggestion.
Yes. That suggestion comes from Ashish ji that stay away from malpractices. और ये आप इसे माल को हिंदी में पढ़ो या अंग्रेजी में पढ़ो एक ही मतलब है. Stay away from the unethical things.
Yes.
And then enjoy your journey. This is not so difficult. This is only thing is that you have to be always cautious even if green light is there.
Yes.
And now, Ashish ji, we are going to another professional colleague, Ram Krishnan ji. He is there and we will listen from him about how to do the self capacity building. Over
Sir,
to you, Ram Krishnan ji.
yeah,
Introduce.
this is Ramakrishnan. Good afternoon.
Yes,
See,
sir.
I qualified as a chartered accountant in 1992.
Right,
From
sir. Right.
92 to 2016, I was in industry, varied industries, manufacturing to retail. And
Yeah.
in 2016 only, I started my practice as chartered accountant. I
Yeah.
am predominantly only in GST. Okay, I have not made any big attempt to get an assignment in IP. So far, I have not been successful in getting any assignment. Only
Yeah.
thing is, yeah, when we approach the bank will say, you leave the application, we leave the application, and we wait for their call. That's all. Nothing has happened so far.
Yes. Yes.
I have
Yes.
not made any big attempt to get myself enrolled with any bank so far. And yes, the constant we give for these unsecured creditors, we give it to the IBBI panel. They put it in the July to December. One panel list is prepared and given to AA for appointment. Even then, in that panel list also, I am there for the past 2 years, but I have not been successful in getting any assignment, sir. So I am not a fit person to give any opinion on this.
Suggestion for you on the basis of my experience.
Hello?
I am giving you one personalized suggestion.
Yeah.
This I have mentioned in chat box. Would you like to read it yourself?
Focus on resolution plan.
Yeah, because see, you carry the rich experience from 1992 to 2016.
Yeah.
Then there is no need to run to the banks.
No,
Make a
actually,
strategy.
so they don't consider your see, my competition is both industry and practice. I have
Yes,
worked in industry. I have handled business. I retired as a CFO, CEO, Chief Executive Officer. I have handled business. I have handled finance. I have handled the accounts, everything, every aspect of it. Company secretary also to some extent I have handled. But the bank is not prepared to listen to all those things. Do you have experience as IP? That's all. That is the only question they ask. So I don't have any experience.
then sir, focus on resolution plan.
Yeah.
Because there you have all the rights and no responsibility.
Yeah, I agree.
And this is not a rocket science.
Yeah.
Just read 2 good resolution plans.
Yeah.
Because resolution plans are available in public domain. So this is
Yeah,
not
yeah.
very difficult to get
Yeah,
along that.
Yeah.
And then become expert of RP. That means instead of IP,
Yeah.
and instead this you read this RP as resolution professional, read it as resolution plan expert. Then what will happen? That
Yeah.
because your deep pocketed clients with who are cash rich, they may be looking for some soft acquisition where they get 100 crores worth of assets for 25 crores.
Yeah, I understand.
This happens here, sir. So this is personalized suggestion for you, Ram Krishnanji. You already knew it. Don't take it to the heart.
No. I am not bothered. I am
I have
what
taken
is
it.
that I have one thing, one belief. What
Yes.
has been identified by God for me, it will come to me. Nobody can stop it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, sir, we are going to another colleague. He is Sunil Kumar. Sunil ji, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm there. I ask regarding this AR question.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
welcome, Sunil ji. Any comment regarding these dues which I have discussed? Only the general dues by this time. Only 6 dues I have discussed, where the capacity building, the general capacity building of insolvency professional happens. Anything you would like to add or anything you would like to further deliberate on those 6 aspects? You are welcome.
Sir, I agree with you that the professionals should be very much healthy as far as the mind and health and is concerned, and the stuff he has, because I think this is a profession for the young people, I would suggest, because as you have experienced and saying that a few of the IPs have medical conditions being diluted after taking the assignments, and I have also seen some of the people like this. And in my personal case, in the experience, I would say that when I went to some of the warehouse, the security guard will stop you. You have to fight them. I mean, not fight them in that way, but you have to take the challenge to enter into the warehouse and struggle them, talk them, and then and then take the photograph from your own mobile, and take the videography and everything you have to do yourself. And sometimes it happens that the support you are taking the people who are going along with you are also not able to understand properly at what is happening actually. So in such situation, they are just watching the drama, and otherwise in case if you have not deliberated everything in advance to them, so that is also
Yes.
very important thing which you have to be very careful in advance.
Javeri Saab, if you are there, then I would like to invite you for your comments. We have Saurabh Javeri Saab. Saurabh ji, welcome. Good afternoon. Kindly unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you.
Yes. See, by this time we have discussed three aspects. Third aspect which was discussed was general capacity building for the insolvency professional.
Right,
And
sir.
you are welcome to add anything.
So,
in this
sir,
list.
I am a passed out of 2017.
Wow, you are my contemporary then. Yes.
And completed some 13 to 14 cases. Few of them were initially, settled within a week of, say, CIRP process initiation. Then I got a break in 2020, a listed company.
Yes.
Silvassa based. So
Yes.
for that, I had to undergo the CIRP process, which was cut short, and we went into liquidation. I just got my order reserved for dissolution yesterday. But the thing is, I saw into that mental toughness is required because workers are there. Sometimes what happens is company doesn't have money to pay
Yes.
to the workers, and you start getting calls from them, emotional calls, because they also required money after all, and the
Yes.
company was shut down. So there I learned you have to be empathetical also, as well as you have to be cautious also, because there are certain labor notorious forces also who you try to divert yourself. कुछ ना कुछ कभी कभी ऐसे एलिगेशंस भी आप पे लगाते हैं कि आप थोड़ा बहुत स्ट्रेसफुल फील करते हैं.
Yes.
Plus you have to do this listing compliances and all that stuff. So yes, capacity building is required, and you need to have a delegated force wherein your compliances are looked after, your on-field work is taken care of by yourself. You can focus more on that. So these things are there. And then I shifted my focus more on voluntary liquidation. I have completed around 5 cases, and I find it interesting, honestly, doing that. So I feel challenges are absolutely there, but the first thing you should have as an IP is you have to be ready to take those challenges. Then only you can survive in this profession. Otherwise, it is tough.
Saurabh, did you get opportunity to become authorized representative to home buyers?
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
Okay.
My whatever case I have done was under this. That was a packaging company.
Okay. Okay. Very well.
That was shut down. Basically, 1.5 years. It was not operational. But the bank said, they were just to initiate the process under SURFACE, and the CIRP got initiated.
Yes.
So yeah, that building that experience I don't have as such.
Okay. Okay. So then let us invite Devendra Singh ji, if he is there. Devendra ji, if you are there, kindly unmute yourself. Thank you, Saurabh ji. I have recommended by way of chat to ICSI IIP to invite you as a expert speaker on some of the topic of your liking.
Thank you very much, sir. So kind of you.
Thank you. And let us listen from Devendra ji or Shri Ram Joshi ji. Shri Ram Joshi ji, are you there?
Yes, I am there.
Yes, welcome Shri Ramji.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. So then,
Actually,
sir,
I am at the receiving end because I
Yeah.
was in service in public sector and after retirement in the superannuation. Then I
Okay.
joined private sector and I basically worked as a company secretary as well
Yeah.
as I was looking after the finance side. But actually, I
Okay,
don't
sir.
have any practical experience in this field. But in academic interest, I am listening everything. And sometimes
Yes,
I
sir.
also think that I should enter into this field. But after listening to you, then I am rethinking it whether to try to enter this particular field and get that qualifying examination clear or not. If you can advise me or guide me how to pass that examination, that will be useful for me.
Yes, yes, yes. See, sir, Joshi sir, number one, that you are fully capable to become insolvency professional.
Okay, thank
Capable.
you.
This concept of capable and eligible comes from one of the story of Mahabharata, where Arjun was
Okay.
capable to incapacitate Bhishma Pitama, but he was not eligible. Then you are capable as well as eligible, number one thing, because you
Okay.
had extensive experience at the top level to run the show.
Yeah.
Now, passing the exam, the first secret is that on ICSI IIP, on this
Yeah.
ICSI IIP portal, there are learning curve.
Learning curve, okay.
And every learning curve runs only to half page.
Okay.
And there are approximately 960 learning curves by this time. 970 exact, sir.
Okay, okay.
See, sir, once you cover the learning curves, you can start from the back. Means start from 970 and go in the reverse chronology. And see what will happen, sir, by the time you will come to the 500 series.
Okay.
You will be well aware of each and everything about IBC law.
Okay.
Each and everything. You have
Okay.
neck on
And
regulation.
just now you told that there are many case laws which are available for study. So where can I get that? It is in public domain. You just now said that case laws of IBC are in public domain. So from where I can go through it and read it and study it?
Sir, this is what I have told you, learning curve.
Learning curve, okay.
On ICSI IIP portal. That is the secret.
ICSI IIP.
Yes, IIP stands for Institute of Insolvency Professional.
Okay.
And these learning curves are around 970, sir.
970. And how to get registered for that?
Free, sir. Free available, sir.
Okay. If I type this ICSI IIP, I will get in. Okay.
Yes, yes. You will get free access to that, sir, because my name ends with Garg, na? So then I find out. Then I find out the free things.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
and sir, this is the secret key to pass this exam, sir.
Okay. 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 Because some of my professional colleagues, those who are in this particular profession of IP, they particularly suggested me that I should first pass that examination and then try to associate with us and we can start our profession like that. So I was thinking that.
You can, sir. And now this is time to go for the OMEX, translating dreams into reality.
Okay, sir. And therefore, I am listening very carefully and keenly all your guidance and everything that you are giving me. Only thing is that whatever the risk factor you explained, so somewhat I get scared that if I enter in this, whether I will be.
But sir, you have experience to work with the big teams, na sir?
To sustain all these tensions and stress and.
See, once you pass this exam, na sir, then remember another 3 alphabet word, that is insolvency
Okay.
professional entity. Because see, group hunting, sir, separately, individually you cannot do.
Okay. Okay.
When you
Yes,
join
that
the
I have
insolvency
noted.
entity,
Group hunting.
yes, sir, any insolvency professional entity, and then you are doing group hunting, sir. And in group hunting, hyena can kill the lion.
Yes, that is it.
In,
And this is
in
a very
group,
interesting session which is going on, and I am basically enjoying it.
then, sir, in group hunting, hyenas also can kill the lion. So then always go for group
Yeah.
hunting, because promoter is always bigger than whether Ajay Garg or
Okay.
Shri Ram Joshi. So therefore, group hunting.
Yes, this is a very good advice, or say the very hint is given. This is very, very useful. Yes.
Right, sir,
Thank you
right.
so much. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
sir. I will rope you again at the end of the session, sir. Be there.
Okay.
I
Okay.
am going to
Can I get your number
Yes, sir. Feel free, sir.
or any other details, contact details?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Feel free, sir.
If
Feel
you
free. I have
if
written my
you can
number
share
here.
your mobile number,
Yes, sir. I am writing in chat box again, sir.
okay.
Well, after meeting seasoned professional Shri Ram Joshi ji, now let us go to Alok Saxena ji. Alok ji, if you are there.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. If you are there, Alok ji, then kindly unmute yourself. Okay, let us go to and check the presence of Jitendra Jain. Jitendra ji, are you there? Arvind Mittal ji. Arvind ji is not there. Then let us go to Shankar ji again till I find out some other person. Shankar ji. Then Shankara Lingam ji. It's time to connect with you again, sir. If you are there. FCS Ketan Dandji. Ketan ji, if you are there, or Mahadev ji, are you there? Mahadev Tirunagiri. Okay, fine. Then I am reconnecting with the PPT to take the next portion of today's session. We were discussing that the insolvency professional is basically the representative of NCLT. So therefore, he has to be in formal attire more. And now let us talk about the special capacity building. Special capacity building, the first thing that insolvency professional shall be aware about the Supreme Court matters and the decided cases relation to IBC, and constant update of the knowledge in relation to the Supreme Court matters that is required. One of the essential thing that insolvency professional, because this is very vibrant profession, you are entering into the corporate graveyard, because you are entering into the ICU emergency of the corporate world, and you are ultimately will be hand-holding the company either to the graveyard or for the resolution. Resolution is basically nothing but the combination of two words, resolution. And resolution always emerges when there is a problem. Only then we try to find out the resolution. So this is not the basically the resolution, but this is resolution. Anyway, after this special capacity building regarding Supreme Court matters, now NCLAT decisions. I practice as a corporate lawyer. So then NCLAT decisions in the arena of IBC, they are also very important.
अगर वो गाड़ी नहीं आया अभी तक।
अशोक जी, अशोक अग्रवाल जी, देखिए आपकी आवाज है ना यहाँ आ रही है सर, आपको म्यूट करना पड़ेगा सर। अशोक कुमार अग्रवाल जी, आपको म्यूट करना पड़ेगा सर, बिकॉज योर पर्सनल थिंग्स आर कमिंग इनटू पब्लिक सर।
आगे इसी के सामने के आज के साथ इंग्लिश में बहुत हुआ है ना। हमेशा से हमेशा से।
अशोक अग्रवाल जी, काइंडली shift yourself to mute mode. Your personal things are coming in public side.
फोटो मोहन आज के शांत আছে।
The coordinator from ICSI kindly mute Ashok Agrawal.
सालों से पूजा कर रहे हैं आप, कारण से नहीं जा पा रहे हो, आउट ऑफ स्टेशन हो चाहे ऑपरेशन हो गया, घर पे हो, तो थोड़ा तो देखिए आपका विचार तो आता ही है ना। रे মানে एक तो पूछो परिचय दो सबका মানে প্লেট প্লেট রেডি करके इसको किया जाए सोनी महाराज जी पूछो করে आए ওই যে গুরুর মন্দিরে চলে যা বাবা এই और এখানে পয়সा दे दी पुजारी को ये बोल देना है, कभी हम सोचा नहीं था ऐसा होगा। इसको समझाए बेचारा खुद ही करके गया।
अशोक जी, आप अपने को म्यूट कर लें सर।
अरे भाई लास्ट टाइम लास्ट दिन मैं पैकेट था 5:30 बजे तक 5 बजे तक पहुंचा के रखता था। अच्छा क्या क्या करता है क्या करता है ये तो लड़ा का बिल चेक चेक मेरा छाट चला करता कहां लिखता था पर स्कूल पार्किंग पार्टी रंजी रंजी छनिया अरे अंकुर जी हमको अंकुर जी छनिया पार्टी क्या 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 वाली पार्किंग सर एयरपोर्ट पार्किंग एयरपोर्ट पार्किंग एक और इसका ड्राइवर लिखा है अभी जुग बाजार पार्किंग जग्गू बाजार होना चाहिए।
अशोक जी, आप अपने को म्यूट कर लें सर। देखो सर, आपकी पर्सनल टॉक्स यहाँ पर आ रही हैं और आपकी वजह से डिस्टरबेंस भी हो रही है सर।
बड़ा बाजार पार्किंग कौन कौन किसका है? पार्किंग पार्किंग नहीं किसका किसका है? तो बेचारा तो उसका काम ही वही तो पार्किंग करेगा तो नहीं लिखा पढ़ा लिखा नहीं इतना लिखता है बहुत बड़ा। सोचिए आप क्या पढ़ाई लिखाई है, उसको मदद करना चाहिए आप लोग को, उसका हंसी उड़ा रहे हैं। कुछ नहीं करता आगे का ना वो मांगो पर वो जो जग्गू बाजार के जगह क्या लिखा हमको समझ गया जग्गू बाजार होगा। जग्गू बाजार अब लोग का जग्गू बाजार जो है ना, जैनी हो चाहे मारवाड़ी हो चाहे पंजाबी हो, उसको अगर गुजराती पंजाबी अरे वहाँ पर सब कुछ मिलते हैं गुरु मेरा के उधर तू क्या करने जाता है घर वही है तो
Coordinator, please unmute.
समझ गया।
Ashok Agrawal ji is creating too much noise and problem.
जग्गू बाजार का नाम क्या है? जग्गू में असल में क्या नाम है?
अशोक जी एक बार आप अपने को म्यूट कर लें।
बाबूर बाजार गेट में लिखा है जोधू बाबूर बाजार, मतलब कोई जोधू बाबू होगा उसी का बाजार होगा, बाजार उसने किया था, अब उसका नाम जग्गू बाजार।
अशोक जी, आप अपने को म्यूट कर लें सर, आपकी अनपार्लियामेंट्री टॉक्स यहाँ पर आ रही हैं सर। अशोक जी, आपकी अनपार्लियामेंट्री टॉक्स बाहर आ रही हैं सर।
बाजार में नहीं मिलता, जग्गू बाजार में मिलेगा ही मिलेगा।
विनय जी, दिस इज गुड सजेशन। अशोक जी आप अपने को म्यूट कर लें सर.
If we can successfully communicate to him, you will be a successful IP.
Yes. अशोक जी आप अपने को म्यूट कर लें सर, आपकी वजह से डिस्टरबेंस हो रही है सर. और आपकी
from
सर
your side if you can do it, please do. From your side you can do it.
Yeah,
नहीं सर मेरी तरफ से नहीं हो रहा, अभी अशोक जी ने कर लिया है सर, म्यूट कर लिया अशोक जी ने.
कर लिया है, ठीक है.
हाँ सॉरी मेरा ऑन हो गया था. आई एम सो सॉरी.
हाँ सर कुछ अनपार्लियामेंट्री टॉक्स भी हमें सुनने को मिल गई सर. Well, I was talking about the special capacity building which is required. We discussed the one which was related to Supreme Court cases, and now the second is NCLAT decisions. See, in relation to Supreme Court, I have mentioned matters, whereas in relation to NCLAT, I have mentioned decisions. So then one need to understand the difference between matters and decisions. Matters, even if some ongoing matter is there in the Supreme Court, IP need to keep himself aware. Most of the time, these are reported in the newspapers, relevant magazines, periodicals, and at other places. So then you can keep yourself aware what are the contentious issues which are traveling up to Supreme Court. And as far as NCLAT is concerned, there is no need to go for the matters. Whatever decisions are there, just on the merit of those decisions, you can keep yourself updated and your continuous capacity building will happen. Next is IPA Connect, Insolvency Professional Agency. Because now we are seeing the two-tier structure as a regulator. Two regulators are there for insolvency professional, whereas in our earlier profession, we have seen only one regulator who was the promoter of the profession also. But here the challenge is that the promoter has also become the regulator, and insolvency professional agencies are also doing the scrutiny, also doing the monitoring. They are also taking the disciplinary action because it is mentioned in the regulations, and they are empowered by the regulation of IBBI to take this step. When the note came, when the initial note about the IBC law came, at that time, there was division of this thing, that IBBI was considered as regulator, whereas the IPA was given the role of the promoter of the profession. But see, when this has been implemented, now both are there. So then, but as far as capacity building is concerned, IPAs are doing very well. Insolvency Professional Agency, just like you are attending this today's session with ICSI IIP. So same thing, all other IPAs are also doing these type of things. So then this IPA Connect is very important. Connect to keep yourself updated. For example, just now when I was talking to Shri Ram Joshi ji, so I was telling that, see, in case of Shri Ram Joshi ji, he is the seasoned professional who has the experience of public sector as well as private sector. That also at the top positions, and then after retiring and superannuation, he again got posted, and thereafter now he is looking for the opportunities. And when he is looking for the opportunities, he is in double mind whether he shall enter into the insolvency profession or not. So then I gave him a tip that the shortest shortcut is learning curve, which is released by ICSI IIP from time to time. And by this time, 970 learning curves have been released. What does it mean? This learning curve is either for students or for insolvency professional. This is for both. Insolvency professionals who are qualified, who are into practice, and this is also very handy tool for the insolvency professional students. Then another thing, that insolvency professional need to be master of all. Master of all corporate law, business law, IPR law, limitations, surface, and many more. And he has to be jack of one, reverse, master of all and jack of one, that is IBC law. Because whatever he do in IBC law, just now one of you was deliberating that howsoever meticulous you may be, but if still you are caught, then some sort of discrepancy is likely to happen in your documents and suddenly you will be penalized, your license will be cancelled temporarily for the period of 6 months, 1 year or whatever. And once that break happens, thereafter you have to restart your career and that restart may not happen. That means becoming the expert in IBC law is not possible. There you will remain jack, but you have to be master of all other laws related to the business. Another capacity which you need, and this is very different because compliance, this is related to the compliance part. Read every order of disciplinary committee of IBBI and IPL so that you know where usually the slippages are being happening and what is the attitude of the regulator and for what reasons the regulator is penalizing the insolvency professional. If you take care of that and you continue to read the disciplinary committee orders, then what will happen? That you will always be the fully compliant and there is nothing that you will certainly be penalized. This is not going to happen. Only thing is that read every DC order. DC stands for disciplinary committee of IBBI as well as of your IPL, so that you know that where you stand and on the basis of that stand, then you will generate the better compliance. Another do for meticulously executing the assignments is attitude shifting. And that is dependent upon your reliable team. You should have a reliable team. Team may be less capable, but team should be reliable because all the confidential information your team has the access. So then team reliability is more important even than the capability. There cannot be any compromise on reliance. There can be compromise on capability, but there cannot be any compromise in relation to the reliableness of your team member. If you can't invest in team, then join IPE because team has its own cost. And this cost, if you are practicing independently, may not be possible for you to afford. In case of IPE, what happens that number of assignments are more and this cost of the team is shared between the various assignments. So then it becomes easy. Then another thing, if you are insolvency professional, you must have few good lawyer friends also. Not only to represent you, not only to represent COC, not only for this purpose only, but many times you want to have second opinion. Unless you have friends in the lawyer community, how you will have the second opinion? When you are doing the voluntary winding up or you are doing the liquidation at that time, at many points you will require the CA certificates. Means you must have the CA friends also. CA friends will also be required for the purpose of taking the second opinion, third opinion. Simultaneously, you need to have CS friends also, because company law nitty-gritties may not be understood by you, and even if you understand, you may like to have the second opinion. How you would have that second opinion unless you have good CS friends also? Then valuer friends, because valuers are involved in the process of CIRP as well as in the process of liquidation as well as in the process of voluntary winding ups. And many times the valuers reports are delayed because of various reasons. If you have the good friends in the valuer circle, then you will not get penalized for the reasons of the default by the valuers because you can rely on them. And then forensic auditor connect, because see, the reality is very different from what is mentioned in the books. See, just remember one of the difficult situation in your life. The moment you remember and recall that difficult situation in even in your personal life, to whom you relied for the first help, you relied either on your relative or on related party or your good friend. Now, if corporate is in difficulty, what is going to happen? Outsider is not going to buy any asset because they are in difficulty, and this is pre-CIRP stage. In pre-CIRP stage, if they want to come out of this difficulty and they are trying, then automatically the PUFE transactions will happen. Means have sympathetic attitude. When you want to sell your property and some of the people know that you are in financial difficulty, then your 1 rupee property will not sell for 1 rupee. This will sell only for 85 paisa. The buyer will not be unrelated party. Buyer will be one of your well-wisher, means related party who wants to help you by way of buying your 1 rupee property for 85 paisa rupees. That means that as a insolvency professional also, you have to keep the holistic approach. You cannot forget, but still you need to have the connect with the forensic auditors also, because you need them. Then rolling compliance calendar. Once your assignment starts, then every time something new will be unfolded. That means every day, every time of the day, morning, evening, afternoon, means your compliance calendar cannot be final at any moment. You need to keep the rolling compliance calendar. That means where you need to add the new things, where you need to change the color of the day which has passed and you have complied, means rolling compliance calendar is going to help you. Then dedicated assistant for the purpose of compliance. Even if you are not practicing, you need to send a report to IPA. Then you need to pay the fees to IPA. Then to continue, you need to attend the CPE hours. Means even if you have passed but you are not practicing, you need to have your compliance calendar so that your license of insolvency professional continues, whether you do the assignment or not. But you can claim in your circle that you are qualified insolvency professional, and whenever opportunity comes, you can grab that opportunity, and at that time you are not in the deficient. And then diary of events. Maintaining diary of event is very important. Just now Ranjana ji shared one of her experience, and she told that 1 month that female director was not available, and after 1 month she filed the complaint in NCLT for indecency by the insolvency professional. Diary of events, very important, very critical thing. Then confidentiality, we have already discussed. Doubt everyone in CIRP setup. As an insolvency professional, you need to doubt everyone. You don't have any friend over there. Doubt everyone, even your team members. Even your team members may be lured by your enemies. Therefore, doubt everyone in CIRP setup. You cannot rely on anyone. CD's login ID and passwords. This is one of the initial thing, that login IDs and passwords related to income tax, login ID and password related to emails, login ID and password related to GST, login ID and passwords related to TDS, other login ID and passwords you need to have. Unless you have login IDs and passwords, because this is computer era, this is online era, things are happening, everything is happening through a password key. Unless you have the access to the passwords, unless you include this in your calendar of events, the change and the transition will be different. That means the moment you accept the assignment, have your vision. And there is no harm in having more than one, but always be cautious. Even there should be your detective behind the division, whether he is reliable for you, whether he can be relied or not. And to have your division win over one of the CD employee, you can win more than one CD employee also. because he knows everything about the CD. So therefore, you need to have your vision, only then you will win this battle. And here, special dues for capacity building we have discussed, and now I will stop sharing the PPT so that we can have some rich deliberations. And through those deliberations, we would like to gather few more pearl of wisdom from you. And first of all, I would like to invite Puneet Handaji, he is good friend of mine, and Deepak ji is also there. So after Puneet ji, then I will invite Deepak ji for his comments here. And Puneet ji, are you there? Puneet Handaji, if he is not there, he is there, but because Deepak is there, I can see the handsome face of Deepak ji. Then first of all, let us invite Deepak ji for his comments about special capacity building for the insolvency professionals.
Good afternoon, Ajay ji, good afternoon, and good afternoon, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Your do's and don'ts what you're discussing, these we have to keep in mind at every time, because regulator like NCLT and IBBI, judicial, both are after IRP or you can say RP, and this compliance calendar you're discussing is very important, because we have to be very careful in doing the assignments. The compliance which we have to make with IBBI and regarding NCLT is very, very crucial. And unless until, as Mr. Ajay advised, to make the calendar, because calendar will help us in making the compliance in time, because we can't remember everything in our mind unless until we record it in writing, either in mobile phone or in the laptop or in the other gadget. That will remind us so that we can give, deliver the things in time. So this is the, crux of, IBBI also this, IBC. You need to comply everything in time. Otherwise, we'll get notice from or email from IBBI. You have not sent this. They will remind us. But at that time, our reputation will be down before the regulators, because many professionals also getting the emails, reminder calls, this has not been compliant by the IRP or RP or IP. So that is not a good, in the good sense. So we are the professionals, so we have to make up a calendar so that anything comes, any event comes, we have to be prompt in reply and prompt in comply. So that is the crux of, professionalism. So Ajay, thank you so much for inviting me and discussing with the members. Thank you.
Yes. And now I invite Nitya Pashupati ji, if you are there. And Puneet ji, if you are there, then open invitation is there. I have recalled you and you were there. I can see your comment also there. Then Nitya ji, if you are there, welcome. Nitya has perhaps left in between. Maybe there's some internet reason. And then let me invite Pankaj Jain, Vinay Singhal ji. Vinay Singhal ji, if you are there, I could see your comment. Please add this as don'ts for IP in your PPT. So then Vinay Singhal ji, kindly unmute yourself if you are still there. Okay, fine. Then let us go to Ram Krishnan ji. Ram Krishnan ji, this is your turn to come again and share your thoughts about the special capacity building tools.
Yeah, see, basically, as I told you that I don't have any experience in this line, but however, I can definitely throw some light on the documentation part. See, the documentation, because see, you said about 3 years documentation, right? Getting the document from the CD itself is going to be a challenge for the IP. Okay, so
Yes.
the question of maintaining the document will arise only if you collect the document. One, number two, every aspect what you are going through during the CARP process has to be documented, properly documented, and it has to be properly recorded, and all the evidences has to be obtained. so that when tomorrow, when it is going before the NCLT, we'll be in a position to substantiate that we have done our duty. And someone to mention in this group that as long as you don't get involved in malpractices, I go with him. As long as you keep your slate clean, I think nothing to bother about, because ultimately only the intention is seen. Anywhere you go, anything, any case law you see, only the intention is seen. The intention is to defraud. Then only the punishment is going to be tough. Otherwise, that is the court will definitely take a lenient view. They will not punish you. So we don't have to bother. But I do agree with you. You started the entire session with a lot of precautions. In fact, for the past 2 years, I have been attending a lot of classes. All the IPs who are in practice from 2017, but I didn't take up IP profession that time because I was concentrating on GST, because GST also came into only from 2017. So I wanted to catch it when it was young. So I didn't concentrate on in the IP line. But ever since I started IP, everybody, even in the 50 hours of the pre-registration class also, people were threatening that you should be a little careful. See, the risk is there everywhere. The risk is there everywhere. Only thing is we have to caution ourselves. We have to properly document ourselves. And you said that there are host of insurance policies is also available. So we have to definitely seek one of those, call one of these agents and find out what are the insurance policy that is available which can cover our risk, and we have to get along. That's all. That is what is my view. But I'm not able to precisely cover because I don't have the experience. Don't mistake me otherwise. But documentation is going to be big. Even chartered accountant, you take chartered accountant profession, you find most of the cases, in most of the cases, the disciplinary committee says that the documentation is not proper. There is no evidence to prove that you have done this, you have done that. So that is going to be a bigger challenge in this IP profession, because non-cooperation, you said it rightly, non-cooperation from not only from the employee, but also by the promoters of CD. Both of them are not going to cooperate. And I do not know to what extent the financial creditors will help you. COC, you said that the first enemy is COC. What extent they are going to support you is also is a challenge. So with all these challenges, IP's profession, it's going to be a very tough profession. But still, as long as I still remember the word used by, I forgot the name, gentleman's name, who said this: malpractices. Never ever get into any kind of malpractices. Keep as much as possible document proper. You can definitely float. You can keep our head. You can keep your head afloat. No problem at all. Thank you.
Yes, Pankajji, over to you. Let us listen from a youngster, his point of view. Yes, Pankajji, over to you.
Even if we are not holding any assignments, etc., what is important is that you prepare a proper calendar of the various things, which is very important, that the timely compliance related to renewal for AFA and the filing of 6 monthly forms and all, payment of fees to IBBI and insolvency professional entities. So all these checklists have to be maintained. Then the issue is if the AFA training timelines have not been done as per schedule, then what? Can that be extended? The block period is over. Then how to get that extension or how to complete those trainings are some questions which can be discussed. What is the answer to them? So if the block period is over.
Yes. And for reply to this question, I will invite Deepak ji to throw light, because he is the part of the system and he understands these things better.
In case your CP hours is not completed and you have applied for this SAS, then you will not get it unless you complete it. Earlier the ICS were taking the undertaking that you will complete the CPRs, but now that is not allowed. You have to complete it before you applying it.
Means for AFA, you need to complete the CPRs, otherwise AFA is not going
You
to
will not.
happen.
Yes.
First of all, complete the CPRs, whatever is pending, only then apply for AFA. That
Right,
is
right.
the thing. Now let us go back to Ranjana ji to understand her experience regarding the special capabilities. Ranjana ji, over to you. Okay. Let us go to Saurabh Jhaveri ji. Saurabh ji, once again, you are roped in. Kindly unmute yourself. Okay, fine. Let us go to this next part of the PPT. And this is related to some of the don'ts. And the first one is no loose talks. Only serious business because your patient is in ICU and your patient is CD, corporate in difficulty. Not corporate debtor, but corporate in difficulty, and you are the hospital. You are the super specialist, insolvency professional is super specialist who is going to give the treatment. So then doctors cannot afford to do the loose talks, and you are the doctor of the corporate world. Second, no casuals. Casuals are not allowed to the insolvency professionals. Most of the time they have to be in the formal attire. Then don't mix drinking and hyping, because most of the disclosures happen on drinking. So therefore, be careful. Do not do any drinking with any of your enemy. That is very important. Don't. And I have seen some of the very nice working IPs getting into trouble only because of this social drinking. I shall call it social drinking. But even this social drinking can become a cause. Don'ts. Then what is next don't? That no relative, no partner, no cut, no gift. There are big no's, because related party is not only related to the corporate world, CD, but it is also related to the insolvency professional. No relative, no partner, no gift, no cut. Read the related party definition very carefully so that you don't make any mistake. And here, with these few don'ts, I am again stopping the sharing of the PPT so that we can have some conversation. And for this conversation, I would like to start with Saurabh Jhaveri ji. Jhaveri ji, if you are there, then I will start with you. Otherwise, with Shankar Lingam ji. Shankar ji, Saurabh ji perhaps busy somewhere. Then you can start this discussion regarding the don'ts. Kindly unmute yourself, Shankar ji.
Sir. So a lot of don'ts. Regularly it is applicable to all professionals. IPs more professionals, and no loose talks, and very careful in talking, and no relative, and no companions, and all these things. One has to be very careful in doing the IBC insolvency business. Huh?
Yes.
So initially you told that one should be like a police officer or a defense officer, being a very from morning from exercise to confidentiality, and then you talked about this capacity building. Now you are saying that you have to be very careful in words and deeds.
Because golden deer marich are moving in plenty, sir. The story at the beginning, because you have to deal with many golden deer marich. So therefore,
okay.
These
so one
there.
has not to believe even his partner, or one has to be very cautious about his subordinates and all these things.
Yes. And Deepak ji, your comments after Shankar Lingam ji.
Ajay ji, there is no no rule book on do's and don'ts. Basically,
Yes.
every do's and don'ts will depend upon the each and every case, and each human being has his own do's and don'ts. Basically, but there are a lot of advisory in our professional services.
Yes.
Which are there in the rule book also. By our ICS, IP also advises so many things. Advisories are there. From that advisory, we make our do's and don'ts, and we have code of conduct. We have a code of conduct that we follow it, which you are discussing relative, no cut, okay, casual things. So because we are sitting on the hot seat of the company when it is an IRP process, so we are driving the force. So all these things are we have to make it at our own. But how you can do your best to revive the company or to have this entire process carry on. So many people you will interact during this journey. You being as a CEO of that, the entire process. So then we will take care of a lot of things. No relatives, no cut, because everyone will watch on us. How RP and RP doing these transactions. So that's why we need to make do's and don'ts for everyone. Every segment.
Yes. Well, and then anybody else would like to rope in for these do's and don'ts, which I have covered, and now I will be going for the last leg of today's session. And before that, I would like to invite 3-4 more of you. Ranjana ji, if you are there, you are welcome to share your thoughts. Ranjana ji has handled more than 3-4 assignments as an assistant IP. Saurabh ji has handled more than 13-14 assignments as insolvency professional. He passed out in 2017. CS Saurabh Jhaveri. Puneet ji, the invitation to you is without expiry. And let us see who can be roped in. Sanjay Jain ji, you were there. Sanjay ji, I would like to invite you for your comments on this part, or Ketan ji. Okay, fine.
I think Ajay ji, आपने इतना अच्छा पढ़ा दिया और अच्छी do's and don'ts बता दिए, so
Let
cover everything.
Let us go to the next part. And next part is for, yes, self-assessment questions. These are self-assessment questions, Arunachalam ji, for each one of us. And first self-assessment question is, when did you read the last Supreme Court order related to IBC? And you can write your answers in the chat box. First question is, when did you read the last Supreme Court order? In relation to IBC? And you can take the help of the Google also. I don't mind. This is the first self-assessment question for today's session, today's workshop, rather. Then there is, Ranjana ji has told that June 2023, that was regarding dishonor of check case in respect of CD and now RP. And this case was Mohanlal case. And Ram Krishnan ji telling when I gave my exams 1 year back. So then first of all, let us rope in Ranjana ji. Ranjana ji, if you are there, kindly unmute yourself. Yes.
Yes, sir. Sir, actually what happened in one of the case, I will disclose the company name also, E-Infrastructure. And it is a टाटा स्काई जैसी ही है सर यहाँ पे कर्नाटका में. तो उसमें क्या हुआ था कि मतलब डिसऑनर केसेस बहुत थे उधर दिल्ली साइड. एंड बाहर से एक पुलिस इंस्पेक्टर तक हमारे मतलब सर के ऑफिस में आके कि अगर आप नहीं आए तो फिर आपको मतलब करेंगे अंदर। तो उसमें फिर सर ने मेमो फाइल किया कि जो ये वो है, आप पर्सनली आप जो डायरेक्टर्स थे उस समय, आप उनके अगेंस्ट आप कर सकते हैं, कंटिन्यू कर सकते हैं, उस पर कोई मोराटोरियम नहीं है। आप, मैं सिर्फ एज अ मतलब अभी कस्टोडियन की तरह इसको मैं हैंडल कर रहा हूँ, एंड आप मेरे अगेंस्ट में कुछ नहीं कर सकते हैं। आप पर्टिकुलर जो डायरेक्टर्स हैं उनके अगेंस्ट में आप कर सकते हैं। तो ये बकायदा केस हमने मतलब वहां पे उसमें सबमिट किया था पूरा।
Yes, and very recently, Ranjana ji, one more decision has come related to dishonor of check by appellate tribunal. And see here what happened. This was rather not dishonor of check, but this was rather related to issuance of the check. The date of initiation of CIRP process was say 10th March. Check was issued on 8th March, and this check got cleared in the month of May. The question was that CIRP process has been initiated. The payment of the check, which was issued on 8th prior to the initiation of CIRP, the payment happened in the month of May. Whether this money can be recovered by the IP or because this is drain on the resources of the company, and the matter went up to NCLAT. NCLAT has given the decision that as far as the checks which are issued before initiation of CIRP, this money cannot be recalled by the IRP or RP or IP, insolvency professional. This money cannot be recalled by the IP, insolvency professional. This is the latest decision in relation to the checks which have been issued earlier than initiation of the CIRP process. Basically, the thing is that yes, as a insolvency professional, we have to keep ourselves updated related to the SC order so that the litigation, at least from the side of the IP, or whenever there is litigation by the opposite party, then defense to the IP is available. See, two things are there. If you are aware about the Supreme Court and NCLAT decisions, then what is going to happen? That the litigation, the position of the litigation will be well known to insolvency professional, and he will have his own decided cases book, so that to whomsoever he engages as a lawyer, lawyer is what? Lawyer is only the representative. एक हमारे in Hindi ना there used to be a one quote, मुद्दई सुस्त गवाह चुस्त. So then muddai also need to read the law, because muddai is not the simple person. He is the insolvency professional who has to be master of all. Anyway, you stay here. I am sharing the another question for today's session. And this another question is related to when did you read the last NCLAT order? This is the next question. When did you read the last NCLAT order? This question is open to all the house, all my colleagues who are present over there. This question is addressed to all of them. When did you read the last NCLAT order? Neeraj Singhal ji, you can reply to this. Ashish Agrawal ji, you can also reply to this. Any one of you can reply to this question. This is self-assessment, no penalty, nothing else. IPA is not going to take any action. IBBI not going to take any action. Only thing is we are doing self-introspection in this workshop. Anish Nanavati ji, Vinay Kumar Singhal ji, you are also invited to reply to this question. And reply can be fake also. I don't mind. I am not the regulator. I am just like one of you. Yes, Ram Krishnanji, the idea is that to be in touch with judgments on regular basis. And if you are associated with ICSI, IIP, this is very easy. Learning curve takes hardly 3-4 minutes, one learning curve, because learning curve is always less than 1 page. And by this time since 2017, this learning curve journey started in 2017. By this time, 970, that means less than 1000 learning curves have come. And all these learning curves are based on the case decisions. Means that you are getting the learning curves 1 in 2 days, 5 minutes. Means out of 48 hours, 5 minutes, and then you are in touch with all the judgments. So this is what happens.
So is it small suggestion?
Yes.
Is that you are telling talking about some 1000 learning curve has been compiled by the ICSI.
Yes.
Why to make it as a book and release it? Yeah, the members may not, because we may not get the back orders, back case laws. So the learning curves can be compiled and it can be released by IIP, ICSI, IIP as a booklet. And we won't mind paying, because we have to learn. No, if we have to learn, we have to spend.
It's very good idea. And ICSI is present in this program. ICSI, IIP representative.
Please release it. It will be very useful for us. It will be very useful for us, because from 2017 also we can go through.
And otherwise also these are available freely in the public domain on the portal of ICSI, IIP. But still this is good idea, because my generation and perhaps Ram Krishnan generation, we love to read more from the book and less from the portal.
You feel it. Yeah. You feel it.
Yes, to feel and to absorb, because our absorption is better when we are reading from the book.
Yeah, I agree.
Let us go to the next question, self-assessment question. And this next self-assessment question is, when did you last visit the IBBI portal?
Sir, yesterday only.
This is good. When did you visit the IBBI portal last time? So then yesterday there was one, on 2nd August, the one order, DC order was released. Vinay Singhal ji, welcome.
Welcome, sir. Sir, I have also visited yesterday. CIP 7 has been filed.
Yes, sir. And see, Vinay ji, for this question, I am roping you in. When did you visit the IBBI portal last time? You visited it yesterday, right, sir? And sir, when I visit the IBBI portal, my focus is on DC order. What do you usually see on this IBBI portal, sir?
Sir, only for compliance use, and order is mail वगैरह पे आ जाते हैं सर, वो हम देख लेते हैं.
Yes sir. तो सर देखो, DC order मेल पर नहीं आते सर, ये इसकी खास बात है. एंड DC ऑर्डर्स मैं तो IBBI पोर्टल पे जब भी जाता हूँ ना सर, या तो उनकी मैगजीन देखता हूँ जिसमें पता लगता है कितने केस रिजॉल्व हो गए, कितने केस चल रहे हैं, कितनी क्या पोजीशन है, मैक्रो डेटा मिलता है. और दूसरा मैं क्या करता हूँ सर, जो भी लेटेस्ट DC ऑर्डर होता है ना, डिसिप्लिनरी कमेटी ऑर्डर, उसको जरूर पढ़ता हूँ. Because this order which has been passed on 2nd August by DC, this is eye-opener case, sir. This is eye-opener case where the credentials of the IP were impeccable. IP did most of the things very nicely, but there were few slippages, and for these slippages, the license of the IP has been cancelled for 1 year. Very harsh punishment. And this DC order gives us, because here I want to suggest one more thing to ICSI, IIP in presence of Vinay ji. Vinay ji, On the pattern of learning curve, I am suggesting ICSI to start the compliance curve also, because compliance and the compliance on regular basis are many for the insolvency professional. They need to report nitty-gritties of their assignments to the IIP. So then there is a need, there is a suggestion that ICSI,
Sir, compliance calendar is available on the ICSI IP website for IRP.
Sir, I'm not talking about compliance calendar, sir. I am talking about compliance curve, because as and when any decision, any disciplinary action is taken, this is for some specific slippages. Yes. Because we are not in habit of reading the DC orders. Therefore, if it comes in the form of compliance curve and this new journey starts, then what will happen? That compliance will be better, and the fear which is entering the minds of the insolvency professional, then that fear will get removed with this new journey.
That's a good idea.
This is only the suggestion, sir, because this is the out of box suggestion which has emerged from today's workshop, sir. This was not free thought of. This was not pre-thought of. This is the result of outcome of the deliberations which I am making with all of you. So this is outcome of that. Anyway, because here, perfect. Let us go to the next question, sir. The next question. There is another self-assessment question. When was the IBBI regulation last updated? When was the IBBI regulation last updated?
Sir, September 22.
Ranjana ji, be careful. Only in the July 23, some of the regulations have been updated, and these regulations are being constantly updated just on the pattern of SEBI. See, what was the vision of Dr. M.S. Sahu? He wanted to make this institution as vibrant as SEBI. Means reactive institution, that as soon as problem is there, the regulation shall be amended. So then what is happening, that every regulation getting amended 3-4 times in a year. Every regulation getting amended 3-4 times in a year, sir. Be careful and be aware of the latest insertions which are there in the IBBI to be in the game. The moment there is one tagline. That tagline says, Deepak, I am writing that tagline here, and then you will recall where you have read this tagline or heard this tagline. Seekhna band, jeetna band. This was related to some sports event, sir. And see, here also, as far as regulations are concerned, because for IBC amendment, government has to go to the parliament. Regulations can be amended by the regulator. Therefore, we have seen another vibrant regulator who is regularly amending the regulations. And over to Deepak ji.
सीखना बंद जीतना बंद है.
Yes.
This is same way like we say when we say we are expert in one thing, and we stop learning or reading. So same way.
Yes, same ways. And this I have taken from the sports arena. Seekhna band, jeetna band. And well, let us go for the next question. When did you attend the last physical CPE program? Physical CPE program. CPE. So this is another question, can be replied by some of you, and this is only self-assessment, no penalty, no punishment, nothing else. Even I am like you, because I am the faculty, therefore I take the privilege, and most of the time I request that my CPE shall be waived. Because when you make one lecture, then you spend a lot of time to prepare that lecture. And see, Pankaj is very candid. Pankaj, for your candidness, you deserve to be applauded. And Ram Krishnanji tells 3 or 4 months back to ICI IIP. So Pankaj, you are very candid, and congratulations for being very candid. And see that actually the online learning is very different from the physical learning. I could develop the rapport with thousands of professionals only because of attending the physical programs, because there we interact formally as well as informally. Whereas in case of online programs, the connect with the other colleagues is less strong. The bond which we develop is very weak, and we learn whatever a hot question is there at my table. When I am going for physical program, then what happens on the sideline, I discuss this hot question, hot problem with 3-4 seasoned professionals. That usually do not happen during the online sessions. Therefore, the niche of physical session is very different from the online sessions. Over to Pankaji. Pankaji, when you intend to attend the next physical session? I am changing the question from past to future.
As soon as possible, if the ICSI IIP organizes it, we will definitely attend. It is around Delhi, so that's okay. Because a lot of interaction happens. You get around with people and get their personal views on various things, their experience, etc. So it's quite useful in doing the physical training exercises. That is very useful. Though in courtroom, of course, and outside the court, we have frequent interactions with the RPs and the other lawyers as well. So we have quite a lot of inputs coming up on the real challenges which are coming before the RPs and all when we go to courts and all. So
yes,
training is happening with us, even though for CP that purpose may not serve, but otherwise that interaction is happening on a physical basis.
Yes, and now I invite Ashish Agarwalji.
Yes, sir.
Ashishji, this question was there that when did you attended the last physical program? And I want your comments on that, sir. When did you plan to attend the next physical program?
So since COVID, since I based out of Ludhiana, there are not many IPBI programs over here. So I have to do it virtually. Otherwise, we'll have to travel all the way to Delhi or Chandigarh, maybe.
Yes.
I'm based out of Ludhiana.
Yes,
So, but we have a CA branch over here. But I attend a lot of their the CPE programs for chartered accountants conducted. Definitely is much more fun attending them. But however, everything has got their own benefits. It's much more time saving to attend a virtual program. If you're interactive, the way you are doing it, Dr. Saab, it's wonderful. I mean, we are making everybody interact. Congratulations to you.
thank you, sir. Let us go to Shankar Lingam ji, Shankar Lingam, Arunachalam ji. Your take on this, sir.
So I have learned a lot of things, sir. But being physical and mentally and academically how to be one update his knowledge and his attitude. First thing. Then something on don't do. And on another on the friendship angle, you have to be friend with a lawyer, company secretary, then other professionals, and you have to update the knowledge on the Supreme Court, NCLAT decisions and regulations updation, etc. And IBBA portal updation and all these things. Today you have touched upon all these points. Sir.
Yes, let us go to the 2-3 more questions and we will finish on time. But before that, there is another question. When did you meet?
Let me speak on this future physical program. Nowadays, ICSI IIP is organizing more program on virtual mode. So you have raised this question. So we would request the team ICSI IIP to have a physical program as soon as possible.
Yes, very good idea. ICSI IIP to conduct physical program as well.
In all parts of India, sir?
Yes, in all parts of India. Well, let us go to the next interesting question. And this next interesting question is, if you are not in Delhi, when did you meet IP of your city? When did you meet the last time IP insolvency professional of your city, sir? That is the question.
I have attended that IBBI program in IIM Bangalore. So I have met most of the IPs there.
Great. So then Ranjana ji met with the IPs of their city because she is also in Ahmedabad and she had attended one program in Ahmedabad. There she got the opportunity to meet with other IPs of her city.
The ICAI of Chennai chapter, the Southern India chapter, they had one day seminar in the CA Institute, which I attended. I met all the IPs over there. So that is
right, sir. Actually, sir, why this question is there, I shall tell you the genesis of that question. That if you are active in the practice as a IP, na, sir, some of the troubles are like that you cannot ask in the conference. And if you are chaddi buddy friends with 2, 3, 4 IPs of your city, na, sir, then on day-to-day basis, because they are also IP, they cannot be your enemy. So then on day-to-day basis, you get the free second opinion, sir, without for taking any action. So therefrom this question is emerging that if you want to be active IP, then develop a strong bond with 2, 3 IPs of your city. Number one, they are available. Number two, daily basis, even if you connect and if you talk and whenever there is an issue, you can freely talk because they cannot be your enemy. So I am giving you actually the friend in the enemy territory. The permanent friend in enemy territory, so that whenever you are in trouble, you are seeking the second opinion, you can get the second opinion. That is the idea behind this question, sir.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay, let us go for the next question. When was the last order passed by DC of IBBI? Because disciplinary committee, if today, because there is one, दीपक जी, एक आपके नाम का वो एक बड़ा सेलिब्रिटी मोटिवेशनल स्पीकर है, उसका नाम क्या है? डॉक्टर दीपक.
Sir.
What is his name? Dr. Deepak?
I miss Karan, sir.
He is MBBS, na? He used to stay in USA and he is from India and motivational speaker. Not many books are there. I am also missing his name. Okay, koi baat nahi. So then he says that if someone has thrown stone at your neighbor house, then don't sleep, you may be the next. Something like this, the lovable quote. So then, see, DC order passed by IBBI. Today, this may be passed against Ajay Garg, but tomorrow, this may be your turn. If you are aware for what thing I have been penalized, then you can take the preventive measures before you get caught. So therefore, this question is emerging from that reason that everything you cannot experiment yourself. Deepak Chopra, yes. So then see, the Deepak Kukreja is with us, and we are talking about the quote of the Deepak Chopra, that if your enemy has been attacked, if your neighbor has been attacked, be careful, you may be the next. So then, if your good friend has been attacked by disciplinary committee, then this is time without wasting the time to learn the lessons and make the amendments in your own working style or in your compliance calendar so that you can move ahead. And Deepak ji, he is MBBS by qualification. And as a MBBS, he was not very successful. But as a motivational speaker, he is known worldwide.
Great.
This is
Beauty.
how the life takes.
Beauty of the man. Yeah.
Yes. Let us go for now. We are going towards the fag end of the session. And here comes the last question of the session. And this question is repeat question. When did you read? See, this question was different. When was the last order passed by DC? But this question seems same, but this is not same. When did you read the order of the DC of IBBI? आपने कब पढ़ा order? और order कब pass हुआ? दोनों, both questions are different. So then this is the question. When did you read the order of the DC of IBBI? If not, then please read. Because when you read the order, you know where the slippages are happening, for what the penalties are being imposed, for what the license is being cancelled, so that corrective steps can be taken by you before fire happens in your home. Then take the corrective measures before that. Well, now this is the story, Deepak ji, we discussed today. I have taken this story from Ramayana, modern day golden deer. Modern day, you get lot many golden deers every day in and out. Be careful. Don't get lured away. If you get lured away with the golden deer, then you may be in the same trouble as this deer invited the trouble in the Ramayana era. Be careful. That is the message, that if you are insolvency professional, be careful of the golden deer. People will come, they will say they want to submit the resolution plan, they will give you the money, this and that, many multi promises. They will invite you to 5-star hotel for the lunch and dinners. They will offer you the liquor. Be careful, be careful. They are golden deer, no harm, or at the most, even if harm happens, but you are extended arm of the regulator. You cannot take the risk. Don't take risk. Be careful. And that is the lesson which we are learning from this story, which I have taken from the Ramayana. And here comes the formal end. Thereafter, I will ask for the comments from the attendees of today, that how did you like the session and what is your final comment. I will be inviting the final comment also. Road to success is always under construction. This is never fully ready. So then, and here road to success is always under construction. And what is this construction? This construction is the new learnings. And new learnings fine-tune us. And with these new learnings, we gradually move from one step to the next step, and then from next step to next step towards next orbit. So that is there. And here we are attending this session. We are ending this PPT session 9 minutes before so that we can have more interaction with some of you in the form of comments or in the form of concluding comments. Each one of you is invited for this comment session for next 9 minutes. And first to come is Pankaj. Pankaj, you can unmute yourself and then you can deliberate. Pankaj,
Yes.
thanks for appreciation. Today's
That's
was
great because we had a live discussion and therefore that enhances the education in the today's training program. Because the counter question also makes you live all the time. So you have to be very much present all the time. So, and thoughtful, you have to be constantly thinking on the questions and the relevant answers for them.
And Shankarji, over to you, because you are there in active mode since beginning of this session, and this was post-lunch session, sir. The most active participant, I can call you. Over to you, sir, for final concluding comment.
Sir, it was interactive and informative, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for crisp comment.
Dr. Garg.
Yes, sir. Anish ji.
Thank you, sir. I think, your comment, especially on the subjective elements of being an RP.
Yes, sir.
It was very well placed. Not many would look at the subjective elements like, for example, mental toughness and physical fitness. But being an RP for the last 5 years, I think they are very, very relevant. And I don't think, one has to ignore this. One ignores it at their own peril. Let's put it this way.
Yes, sir. Many of my friends got at least 3 personal friends of mine who started in insolvency profession. I have seen getting them admitted to the hospital in first 6 months of their first case, sir. On the basis of that only, because their experience, I could see that yes, mental toughness and physical fitness both are required over there. Thanks for appreciation, Anish ji.
Welcome, sir.
And also, sir, we should forget about holidays, because in one of our case, what happened on Sunday, they were removing the machinery. So sir has changed the security. So they told that, sir, they are showing that papers that belongs to them. So we are taking this machinery. So sir, literally on Sunday, and it was, I think, some festival was there. So he took his car and go there and stop that transfer of machinery from the corporate debtor office. So we have to मतलब अपनी छुट्टियां बिल्कुल भूल जाना है कि संडे है या वो है.
Yes, you are right. IP never sleeps.
Yes, sir.
Then not only the army person, not only the Fauji, but IP also never sleeps when he's under AFA and has taken the assignment. Over to Deepak ji.
Yes, sir. It was really, very good, wonderful, session. It looked like physical, session. Like it's virtual, but you didn't like it's a physical session. You asking so many questions, and that is opening our mind also. It's not one way. It's 2-way. The entire session went, and I hope everyone has, benefited from you and the question you asked. It will also awake us. When did you see the website of IBBI or read the order, Supreme Court, and glad? It give us, also the things that we also look at a frequent, interval, these all things, so that we keep ourselves updated in all these areas. So really, it was a wonderful session, and I congratulate you for delivering this. Thank you.
Thank you. And now I want to go to Mr. Ramchandran. And thereafter, Vinay Singhal ji, Ramchandran ji, if you are still there, then you, yes.
It was a wonderful session and with lot of interactions and nice tips, etc. It was very live actually, like a physical meeting. Lot of interaction with others IPs also.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Puneet Handa ji, Vinay Singhal ji, and Saurabh Dhaveri, the find of the session. Saurabh Dhaveri, Vinay Singhal ji has come now. Let us
very
listen
good
from Vinay Singhal ji, sir.
as always, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. And Saurabh Dhaveri, you are the find of the session. You have already completed 13-14 assignments as insolvency professional in 6 years. Means great contribution to the Indian economy. The assets, unused assets have no value. The principal concept of IBC is that unused assets shall be put to use. Whatever value can be realized, that should be realized. Anybody else? No, then okay, over to ICSI insolvency.
Sir, yes.
Coordinator, Surabhi Jain.
Ji, sir.
Over to you, Surabhi.
Sir, thank you for this wonderful, wonderful session. These 3 hours after the lunchtime and in the afternoon on the weekend, really, really interesting and engaging. All the participants were engaged during the discussion and you were able to connect all the participants together for the discussion. So it's really, really wonderful. Participants, I have shared one Google form link in the chat box and in the mail as well. It's a questionnaire regarding both the sessions of today's workshop. You need to submit that questionnaire by 7th of August by Monday, 3 p.m. In the Google form link. Hope all have received the same. If you have not received the link or the link is not working, you can reply over the mail or on the mail ID programs, the mail ID from which you have received the link of the session. And now I would like to place formal vote of thanks for our today's faculty, Dr. Ajay Garg. Sir, we are privileged, ICSI IIP is privileged to have you in this workshop on this topic in the afternoon session. Thank you so much, sir, for catering to our request and sharing your valuable thoughts and sparing your valuable time for us. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you so much.